Hi, everybody, and welcome to Audrey Live. Yes, it's Audrey Live, where we like to create every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on Facebook, Audrey Live. Today is kind of our vacation episode, let's call it. We are on vacation this week, but we're still bringing you some great ideas, suggestions, and different artists that are bringing some demonstrations to you and to get your creativity going for when you go on vacation. We kind of talked about it last week on the show about going on vacation and things that you craft and do while you're on vacation. And many of you sent in some wonderful ideas and tidbits of information that we'll kind of go through some of the things today and bring some examples to you as well. So anyway, while we're here, of course, don't forget to comment, share any questions you have, and I will try to answer them as well. And, start a watch party or that sort of thing, just get your friends involved as well. It's all about staying connected and communicating and sharing our love for creativity and art. Also, if you haven't seen some of our shows, all of our past shows are on our YouTube channel. You're probably getting tired of me telling you this, but you just go to Pin It Canada and make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, so then that way, anytime we put up a new video, you'll just get notification. So it's just kind of easy that if you miss a week or then the notification will come to you. We're putting a lot of our smaller tidbit recorded demonstrations on there as well. So if there's any of those that you'd like to rewatch, they are there for you to see. Health benefits of being on vacation. We all need a vacation, even though we've all been kind of home but we're still dealing with the stress of the different things in our world nowadays, that when you do go out, you have to wear your mask and, all the added things that just kind of perhaps add a little bit of stress when you're going out. So going on vacation can be a bit stressful perhaps, but I think, most of us can find a way to relax, whether it's camping or renting a cottage or going to see family and friends. And of course, we're staying in our own countries, so we can really, see different things that perhaps we haven't seen before. I know a lot of times when we go on vacation, you want to go somewhere else, but there's just so many things to see and enjoy in our own countries. So anyway, the health benefits, there was a study, numerous studies show taking time away from your job can have physical and psychological health benefits. People who take vacations have lower stress, less risk of heart disease, and a better outlook on life, and more motivated to achieve their goals. So there's all sorts of different crafting ideas and crafts and creativity that you can take on your vacation. Some of the top 5 or 6 that kind of came through that I'll talk about. The one was crocheting and knitting. Now, I think I can remember AFCI, which is an organization for craft industries. They did a survey, and it was amazing how many people knit and crochet. I think that was probably one of the #1 crafts to do. So some of the things that you can do and that I enjoy doing are the washcloth. I knit, but I don't do anything fancy. I just knit because I find it relaxing. I don't have to think. I can just sit there with my friends, knit, or if we're watching TV or sitting outside. So one of my favorites, which a lot of people will know, especially the gals I craft with, is the washcloth. Now, this is not advanced, but there is a little bit of detail in there. I typically like to get a yarn that has some sort of a design or a variation of yarn, something like this. This is that scrubby material. I don't know if you can see it, or yarn. Kind of comes like this, and it turns into this. And we love this size. It's just a little bit of a smaller size, and it's really good actually for washing the dishes. I find it works best, it'll get everything off and they wash up really quick. I throw them either in the washing machine with my towels on hot, or I just throw it right in the washing machine or in the dishwasher when I'm washing my dishes. So that's one of my favorites. So I kind of keep doing them and then give them away as gifts or things like that. So Another thing I really like to do is headbands, or a lot of times nowadays the kids can't wear scarves, so they can make a neckband. So headband, scarf, or neckband, and you can just knit it very simply again as well. I usually like to use different yarn that's variegated, and then add a couple of buttons to make it look a little fancier. It's always a great thing to do. Also, these are mug rugs, they call them. They're just little mini placemats. And I know there's lots of great ideas on Pinterest and on Yarnspiration and a couple other sites that have neat designs and colors that you can use. So that's another little thing that you can be doing while you're on vacation. And all of these are just nice little gifts that you can give at Christmas time. So I kind of knit a lot of this different things throughout the year, and then I just keep stockpiling it. And then when Christmas comes, it's just a nice gift that you can give. So another great idea for crafting while you're on vacation, especially if you're camping or if you're near a beach, or is people love to collect rocks and pick up rocks and things like that, all different sizes. So I know rock painting is huge, and it's so easy because all you really have to do is bring a couple of brushes and maybe 5 or 6 paints, and the creativity can just keep going. And it's easy for kids. So if you have your children with you or grandchildren with you, it's a really neat, easy craft while you're on vacation. So here's a couple of ideas that I kind of found. One is, very simply just base coating them in a color, and then with a Sharpie putting on a face, and then varnishing them afterwards. So here's another one where you can put, I better go over here, paint them, still it's fairly simple. You're either just base coating them, putting dots, or this one here is kind of neat. They've done a couple different colors, or this one that they've made it look like the rainbow. And then again, I typically, when I'm doing rocks or things for outdoors, I will use the Decor patio paints, but you can use any paints just as long as you give it a couple coats of a varnish so that it will stay good outside. So, and then I thought this was kind of neat too. It's painting a heart on a rock. So it's kind of taking it to that next level. You can, just trace your heart on there, and then they've kind of done a rainbow of colors, and then they've outlined all the colors just with a Sharpie, and then kind of done like an extra little, I don't know if you doodle, Zendangle. I know a lot of people had mentioned that last week. So, but if you go on Pinterest, there is so many ideas for rock painting, from very easy to very complex, and a lot of YouTube videos too. So, you can check that out. And I typically do this sort of thing. I kind of get some ideas, put it on a piece of paper, print it out, and take it with me on vacation. So then we don't have to be online. We don't have to be looking at videos. We just look at the picture and create. And the kids always come up with their own thing anyway. So that's a really neat idea for crafting while you're painting as well. Another one is something that we kind of, if you remember back when you were younger, and it seems like it is a real thing for, I would say, young girls in particularly, but I know a lot of guys, young boys like to do it as well. But the old friendship bracelet. Remember the friendship bracelet? So it's using your cross stitch, I think it's DMC thread or floss, they called it, which is very easy to get. I know you can get it pretty well anywhere that they carry that sort of thing. It's very portable, easy to do on vacation. And like, again, with the kids or grandkids, no pins, needles, or scissors, and it's just relaxing. So, there's anything from very simple ones to complex ones like this, which I guess probably aren't overly complex, but with that you have to read a little more instructions and figure out how to do the knotting, and it's basically usually like a braiding technique with it. So that's something that it's very creative, and again, you can do as easy as you can. I know I did some, we had the children at the church that we were doing some crafting with, and they basically braided 3 separate pieces, and then braided those 3 together, and they actually were really neat. So it can be as easy as that, and it can take 5 minutes to a couple of hours if you're doing something a little bit more complex. painting small items is always neat, because that painting is kind of my first love. I love to do all crafts, but painting is something I really have, where I started my crafting is with painting. Every year I paint about 50 or so ornaments for family, my nieces and nephews. So I like to start early so that I get them all painted by Christmas time and ready to go. So, I mean, again, it can be anything from, this was one I had done. It was kind of like an addition. I painted something for them, and then I saw this idea. I picked up these little pieces from the dollar store. They're kind of like a little a mini clothespin there. So it's really easy for them to just put it on the tree that way. And then it actually came with the black on it. So it looked like chalk or a chalkboard. And then I just stenciled, you can see the background, I just stenciled a very simple stencil on it with white, and then wrote joy. And it was a very quick but fun craft. And I did a lot of them because I gave them, of course, as gifts, but I also gave them in a card. Like, you know, if I sent out cards, or I always give the card with the gift card, like to the post lady, or, you know, different people that do things special for you during the year. So it was kind of neat to do that. Another one that I did was this one I did for the kids last year because I wanted to do something different. And I had these snowman figures, but I had done snowman for them a couple years in a row, so I turned them into Grinches. So again, it was really, really easy. Something that you can do just chit-chatting with friends or when you're on vacation. So I base coated the top part red, the bottom with this funky Grinchy green. And then all I had to do is trace on the face, and then just used a Sharpie and traced everything on. And then I actually used that Grinch color, but made just a tad bit lighter with some white for the eyes, and it was done. This piece right here actually is popsicle stick, a very narrow popsicle stick that I just cut like one popsicle stick in 3, base coated it white, and then just glued it on. So that was, they loved those last year, and, you know, very effective, but not too detailed. In the past, I did some really detailed ones, but more and more as I was doing more ornaments, I tried to make them a little bit easier. This was one actually that I did last year or the year before as well. And it's just a very simple, actually right there, it said 2019. I always wrote on the back. So I've always said, you know, so that they know what year they got their ornaments. Base coated it with a light blue. And then I did a background stencil, but it was actually a stamp, not a stencil, a stamp. So I had just stamped it on the background, and then I stamped this little gnome guy on, which I just thought he was adorable, and then just base coated the different spots in of his hat and his beard, or his beard, I guess it is, and his body and gloves. So it just had made very simple, just base coating. There's no detail extra to it at all. And then after I was done, I had this little star. So I thought, you know, it just adds a little bit because it seemed a little bit bare up there at the top. So just added that star on there, glued it on, and then gave it a coat of varnish again, and ta-da, it's done. So this year I'm working on, so this is what I'm taking on my vacation to do. So hopefully I'll show you the end result in a week or two. But this is how they started. I got them, I believe last year at Art Waves West from one of the vendors. And I'm not sure if it was, I think it was Manny from DeGlow's Den. But I know Deb Mishima, she has a pattern as well of with this little guy on it. So I took this and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep it very simple. So I base coated it with that bluish gray color. And what was so neat, I thought after I base coated, you can see on the edges that brown is still shown through a little bit. So it really already gave the effect of the shadowing on the outside edge that I wanted. So my plan is to find a stencil, probably like a snowflake stencil, which I know I have, and just do a very light stencil on it. And then I'll see what it looks like. I think I want to put a little bow here and possibly a word. across here, but I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do that or not. I'll see how far I get. So yeah, those are kind of some of the ideas, things that you can do while you're on vacation. Also journaling, scrapbooking are always neat ideas in small, like basically if you have a small journal or a small vacation scrapbook, you can just bring some basic supplies with you, which is always great. And making cards. I know a lot of people like to make cards to hand out, and it's kind of neat to maybe do some cards ahead of time that you kind of stockpile and that you can give out. So there's so many ideas on Pinterest about journaling on vacation and that sort of thing. Very simple, making your simple backgrounds. Today, though, we have a treat for you. Jen Tryon, who's from Toronto, will show us how to make a handmade card, which is quick and easy to do while you're on vacation. So let me see if I can get this here for you. And let's see, share and enjoy the video. awesome. You can see how easy it is to use the markers that Jen uses and to make those cards. Just incredible. And I'm sure all those supplies, they fit in a little box, and it's very easy to take along, that you can make different with the different stamps and the different papers that she had, and just, you know, have fun with it, right? Thank you, Jen, for allowing us to show the video. You can see a lot more of Jen's DIY videos on her YouTube channel at Jen Tryon. Also, you can see her on TSN, HSN, and she has some special segments that she does for Global TV, the morning show. So that's always neat to have Jen part of the show. And hopefully very soon we will have her on live as well, so she can show us some things that she's been working on lately. So as many of you know, my daughter Corey is in Korea right now, South Korea, teaching for a year. She actually comes home in a couple of weeks, or actually mid-August, so we're really excited. But she's been trying to do as much vacationing as she can while she's over there. And she took an opportunity a few weekends back to go to Goji Island, it's called. It's in the southern part of South Korea, just off the coast port city of Busan. Corey's going to show us a tidbit of her trip there. Let me just get her on. Oh. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to find her video here. Share. Oh, there it is. All right. I think I got it now. All right. Let's see. And this is Corey's vacation.
Hello, it's Corey here. I'm in Korea and I am videoing for Audrey live. And as you can see, I am in front of a windmill in Korea. I thought this was a beautiful place to go to for my Dutch roots. I saw it on the tourist sites and I just wanted to come out and see it. And it's right on the sea. Oh, the water, nice open water. It's such a beautiful day out today, and I just wanted to talk about my experiences here. I'm on an island called Goje Island, and there's so many beautiful places here. There's 2 botanical islands off of the edge of it, and next time I come to Goje, I will definitely do another video of the botanical gardens. And so yeah, I just wanted to show you a little bit of this island. So I just decided to turn my camera around, give you a little bit of a view of all the beautiful places. Nice little Korean couple over there. And this windmill is just, breathtaking. It is almost 8 o'clock in the morning here, and there's so many people out walking, enjoying the view. And this is a fishing island as well, so there's a lot of fishing boats and ports, and you can see there's a pier up here. That they've set up just for fishing. So it's this little fishing pier. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience here and working abroad. I really have enjoyed living in a different country and learning about a new culture and just exploring this beautiful country of Korea. I decided to move here when I finished university, and Ashley, my sister, was like, just go, move to Korea, go teach for a year. And it didn't take long for me to decide that this is what I wanted to do. And so I moved to the other side of the world to do some traveling and really experience another part of the world. it has been an interesting year, as you all probably know. Coronavirus hit here first, and it was interesting. We can't leave Korea, so my travel plans of doing other things other than Korean traveling have been put on hold, and I will not be able to experience another part of the world. But it has given me an opportunity to travel within Korea. Here, things have mostly gone back to normal, so we are still able to travel within the country. And so I've just been able to explore parts of Korea that I probably wouldn't have explored if the coronavirus didn't hit. So here I am on Gaji Island, and I didn't even know about this place until last week. My friend told me about it and said, let's go visit for the weekend. So I traveled with a couple of friends on Friday and Saturday. Now I'm here on Sunday, and I'm by myself, and which is so lovely. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it is beautiful. The sun is shining, the waves are splashing against the rocks, there's people walking behind me. Oh, it's just beautiful. I highly encourage other people, young people, to come and travel, or if you're in between jobs and you want to do something different, come to Korea for a year, teach, and just experience another part of the world. It's wonderful to see how other people live, and different cultures, different food. I have loved their food a little bit too much. So yeah, I encourage anyone to try this if they have a travel bug. So I have people walking behind me. Yeah, so anyways, Corey out.
Thank you, Corey. That was great, just to kind of get a little information of where she's at and about what she's doing there. And yeah, I think for all of us, this has given us the opportunity to explore our own countries and our own areas where we might not have done that. Just like Corey mentioned, I know she was planning on going to China, and on the way home going to Holland to visit family and things like that. So but that's not going to happen. But like she said, she's thoroughly enjoyed her time there, and all that she's been doing. Another art form that I kind of forgot looking at my papers here that I wanted to mention to you as well, kind of going with the painting on rocks, is the pebble art. It's something that I kind of noticed like a year or so ago. I'm sure it's been around for a long time, but it's more just taking your rocks and driftwood and things like that, and making art with it. So I found a couple here, like as simple as just putting faces on them to make them look like a family. To here, they have a few that that have birds and things like that. I really like this one. I might try to do this one with the family next week. That we each make one that they can make one for their own family. It's just rocks and driftwood. So it's another really neat, simple craft, because really you're going to find the rocks when you're and the driftwood as you're on vacation. And be careful that you don't take it from, like if you're at a provincial park or certain areas that they don't want you to take this stuff out. But if you're at like depending on the beach and stuff, be aware of rules and regulations. I don't want people stealing rocks and driftwood. But anyway, and I think I'm going to go and get some canvas, just like that hard canvas boards like from Dollarama, and then we can do this together. So that's another neat little thing that we can do. Oh yes, next up, talking just about painting and being creative and kind of in with the journals, Tracy Moreau. She's from Moreau, from Fredericton, New Brunswick. And she's going to do a demonstration for us, easy barn board painting techniques. It's really kind of a nice background that you can use for pretty well anything, I think, whether you're painting, just wood, or if you're painting canvas, or in backgrounds of your journal, that sort of thing. So anyway, enjoy Tracy's video. Okay, sorry about that. Somehow it went to her next video. Let me see if I can flip back.
That's okay. It's just going to add.
Flip back to the barn painting video. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Share. I'm getting the hang of this for sure, but sometimes it kind of works a different way.
This is an encaustic. This is a natural hair, like a hog's bristle. You can use a chip brush. You just need something with a coarser bristle than what we ordinarily work with, or you can use like one of these foliage brushes, but just something that has, a slightly stiffer bristle in it. So I'm going to get the brush wet. It doesn't need to be dripping wet, but it should have some water in it. And you're going to pick up warm white, titanium white, whitewash, whatever blows your hair back. Then you have to decide which direction you want your barn board to go. So the barn board can go horizontally, as in the welcome sign, or it can go vertically as it was in the gather sign. So this is really simple. So you pick up that paint, get a little bit of water in that brush. We're going to go vertically on this one. So it's a light touch. You'll notice that it's quite streaky, and I'm getting, quite a bit of the black showing through. We're looking for those irregularities. Doesn't take a lot of paint, and you're not going to go back and forth. You don't need to. It doesn't even matter if it's straight. It actually lends quite a bit to it. So just like that, until you have the whole surface covered. And that's as difficult as that is. If you have spots like I have here along the edges where I didn't quite get paint, that's okay. It's just going to add to the look. So we'll put a little more on this one end and we'll be done with this. So it's not a fully opaque white. It's very streaky, very imperfect, and that's all you really need to do. Easy peasy, right? So the next step is to create those vertical lines, or those gaps in the wood. So what I've done here is I've laid down 2 strips of blue painter's tape, and I've left about an eighth of an inch space between them. And you're going to use the stencil brush for the next step. You're going to pick up a little bit of lamp black, and you're going to fill in that space using the stencil brush. Now when I lay that tape down, I don't center them perfectly. I kind of want them a little offset so that they don't look too heavily structured. So there we go with the black. Easy peasy. Now you just have to remove the tape, and this is going to create those gaps or spaces between the barn boards. Goodness. Had I been smart, I would have prepped another board. Okay, but you'll see what I mean. So I'm pulling that tape off, and so now we have that space between the barn boards. And the last one, oh good heavens, it wants to be stubborn today. Okay, there we go. Look at that. So now we have that gap between the barn boards. So your next step, you have to age this a little bit. So we're just going to separate the boards and give them a little bit of age. And we're going to do that like this. I've taken a nice big angle brush and some asphaltum, and I've floated a shadow along both sides of that gap that we just put into place. So a nice float of asphaltum on either side of those gaps, and then I did the same thing going all the way around the outside edge of the piece. And that is what gives you that sort of aged look, that weathered look. Then you have to make it look all chipped at the edges or worn at the edges, and you do that. It's very simple. You're going to break out a nice big fat liner or a round brush, and you're going to load it up with some thinned lamp black, and then you can just roll the brush along the edge of your surface like so. And when it stops, giving you that nice crinkled edge. It's time to reload. So just roll it across like so. And this is what sort of gives you that broken, aged, worn look at the edge of the barn board. And you just continue doing this all the way along all four sides of your surface, or all around the outside edge of your surface. That looks pretty cool. The final step to really making this wood pop is adding some highlights. It's like anything else. In order to get the depth, to get the realism, there has to be a low light and there has to be a highlight. And in this case, that highlight is just done with a good liner and a little bit of thinned warm white, titanium white, whatever you have on hand. And you're going to apply a very thin highlight to your board like this. So wherever that black chipped broken edge is, I've added a small fine line of that thinned titanium white to that ragged edge, and on one side of that seam on the barn board. And that's as difficult as that is. It's a very simple background. It's very, very effective, and it looks fantastic with sunflowers or fall leaves or pumpkins or any farmhouse design that you may come up with. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you found it useful. And I'm really looking forward to doing more of the Facebook Lives, but due to technical difficulties this week, we had a bit of a problem. So I wanted to get this complete start to finish so that you'd be able to tackle those designs on your own. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and you can find me on Messenger as well. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Tracy. Yeah, it looks very complicated, that technique, but once you see the step-by-step, it definitely is something that I believe anybody could do. Just very easy and very effective. Would be a great background for the rock art, or a great background for your journal, even for the scrapbooking pages and things like that. You know, to hand paint a background would be kind of neat. I know we had Rita on last week, and she had her journal that she had made, designed and manufactured. I can imagine that would be really neat on one of those, on one of the sheets in her journal as well. So yeah, so vacationing, you know, it's just always a neat time. Sometimes stressful, most of the time not, but it's always an adventure, especially if you're traveling. I found a video that I just thought I had to share. Kind of reminded me sometimes of those trips. You're in the car and you're driving somewhere, and you know, you've never been there, and you have your map, you have your GPS, you have your Waze, but there's always that person who does not want to follow perhaps all the doesn't want to use the map, doesn't want to use the GPS. So this is the Holderness family, and I've showed one of theirs before, and I kind of came across this one, and my granddaughter Daphne loves this song, so I had to share it with you today. It's kind of about vacationing, so enjoy.
This is not.
Honest, nothing tells me to go this way all the time, and my way is faster.
Every time you do this, we end up in a strange town.
Well, this time is different because I know this route, and I tried it last night.
I'm gonna take my car down the other road because I know more than Apple Maps knows. Gonna take my car down the other road because I know more than Google Maps knows. I know that mobile GPS will always have success, but I don't like this route, so I'm gonna take a left. It keeps saying take a right, but just the other night I found another road that has a lot fewer lights. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing. Waze can't tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing. Now there's an angry red line. I think that we'll be fine. If I drive like Ricky Bobby, I can make up all the time. My wife, this is upsetting. We're late and now she's stressing. She's wondering why I can't just follow the directions. You took the wrong turn, she's shouting, but I'm rerouting. I'm gonna always question the computer suggestion. Yeah, I'm gonna take my car down the other road road because I know more than Google Maps knows. Gonna take my car down the other road because I know more than this thing knows. No slowing down, cross town, driving like a rock star, getting lots of dirty looks, cutting off other cars. I can get there faster with a U-turn real quick. Wife, she's fuming and both the kids are car sick. Finally get there and I start to pout. It took 10 minutes longer than the suggested route. The wife says, I hope you learned something, Pan, but the next time we drive, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna take my car down this other road because I know more than Google Maps knows. Gonna take my car down the other road because I know more than this thing knows.
Just give me a second. Right behind us. You must think the biggest thing that's in the planet. Okay. I don't really know what this move is that I'm doing.
I wouldn't do it anymore.
Less is more?
That is the nicest way to say that.
So a different move.
Different.
Okay.
I would do different.
It's like a Charleston, like,
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I do enjoy their videos. They're kind of addicting. So anyway, just thought that was cute and kind of reminds some people perhaps of some of their vacation trips, driving in the car and not knowing where you're going or taking the wrong way, or, you know, all of a sudden there's a traffic jam, so you try to sideline it. But anyway, it's all fun. It's all an adventure. And just, yeah, enjoy your vacation, relax, de-stress, all that sort of thing. Next week on Audrey Live, we have an upcoming artist, young upcoming artist from Toronto. Her name's Bridget Poole, and came across her actually from my niece. That they had, my niece and my nephew in Toronto, that they had heard of her or they knew of her from school, and just a really amazing, lovely lady, and just kind of breaking into the scene the last couple of years. So I just wanted to have her on the show that she can share with everybody what she's doing and the amazing artist that she is. Also, we'll have Julie Lafayette on demonstrating her marbling art technique. Which is really kind of neat. It's a technique that she's kind of come up with herself, and she does scarves and all sorts of things, so that'll be neat to see. I'll also give you an update on my vacation. Perhaps while we're on vacation, we'll show or do a few little videos and show you some of the creative things that we came up with and that we did as well. Don't forget to show your vacation crafting ideas, pictures, you know, message me, or put them just right in the feed so that we can, you know, continue that conversation through the summer about vacations, what you do on vacation, what crafting you do on vacation, how you're creative on vacation. So that'll be next week, Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern on Audrey Live. Again, you can check our show out if you've missed them on our YouTube, Pinnacle Canada YouTube channel, and yeah, subscribe, hit the bell, and that sort of thing. So anyway, thank you so much for watching again, and take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have a great week. Bye-bye.